And so I just always felt such compelled towards those people that are out there and they're working on a book and they've worked so hard on it and it's out there, whether it's traditionally published or whether it's, through Amazon services or whether it's hybrid or whether it's self or whatever. There's just a lot of people that don't have a publicist to work for them. And so that's why I came up with a course called Confessions of a Publicist, a panic-free guide to promoting your book.
Hello, my fellow Misfits, and Happy New Year. It's 2026, and I am so excited to kick off this year's worth of podcast fun with a dear friend whose name is Jeane Burgess. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, although if you've been listening for any length of time, you already know her, but just in case, let's catch you up. Jeane Burgess is the founder and president of Tall Oak Media, a full-service publicity agency focused on campaign management and consulting for authors and publishers. She's that and so much more. But I want to highlight one small thing, because we're going to talk a lot. This is going to be our segue for the rest of the conversation. She's a proud small-town girl who loves supporting her community in every way possible through her involvement in school, church, local business, and civic groups. In other words, the woman is an encourager. And Jeane, my encouraging friend, welcome back to the Isle of Misfits.
Thank you, Nancy. I love being with you. You know I do. I think this is number 3.
At least. Yeah. I'm going to go back in the archives. I think there's more, but yeah.
There may be more, but thank you so much for having me. I have something that I've been working on, and I really wanted you to be the first one to help me talk about it, because we go back a long way, and I just value and respect you so much. So I'm excited about this. We always have fun too.
We do always have fun. And yeah, I was thinking about it. I mean, you were really, you were one of the founders, I would say. You were on that founding committee of the Isle of Misfits. You were one of our first visitors, I'll put it that way. And you helped set the tone. And you yourself have helped to bring many of the guests that we've had over the years. So I consider you, you're on our Chamber of Commerce, actually. Yes.
Nice. Well, do I get a gift basket?
You get back. You get, the fruit baskets coming your way.
Do you know what's so funny? I have loved booking my authors with you. Like, I love sending them to you and having them do interviews, and you're thoughtful and encouraging, and you're creative, and they have a unique, wonderful experience with you. And so just the fact that I've been able to book authors with you has been just a huge privilege. I always say, as a publicist, it's kind of like Delta Airlines, how they say, we know you have a choice, of where you can fly. It's like media has a choice of the authors they book. And so I just am so grateful that you've taken in so many of mine.
Oh my goodness. And I'm thinking, like, I can't think of one conversation that I just didn't thoroughly enjoy. Like, you always send such great people. They're fun. They're interesting. They're creative. They're always up for the stupid game. I can't think of one who wasn't up for the stupid game.
Yeah.
So having said that, you know what's coming. So the stupid game.
Yeah, here we go.
It's a coming. So
I haven't had coffee yet. Am I going to be sorry about that?
All right, take a sip, because we're going in.
Okay.
So this one is actually, sometimes I craft them myself, but this one is brought to you by milehighmamas.com.
Cool.
I'll put that in the show notes. Okay, so it's all about, I already said, we're in the New Year's. This is our first podcast of 2026. So, of course, we got to talk about New Year's resolutions, because it's an obligation. We must, right?
We must.
So what are we calling this quiz? I'm calling it New Year's resolutions. I'm calling this New Year's resolutions gone wild. Or are you honoring your New Year's? Okay. So this is multiple choice. So,
all right. Oh, good. I love multiple choice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love these choices. I got to meet this Smile High Mama. She's funny. Okay. Number 1, you vow to give up sugar while taking this quiz. Will you jot down your answers with A, pencil, B, you'll remember the answers, or C, your finger dipped in chocolate syrup?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I probably will put it down in pencil so I can erase it if I need to.
Okay, very good. So not your finger dipped in chocolate syrup. Okay, all right.
No, but that sounds great.
All right. In 2013, so that was a few years ago, you were going to start running. How many times have you laced up your shoes and gone?
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think this quiz.
Can I say that I think that sounds like
I think she wrote this quiz in 2013.
I think she did. Now here's the thing. I started my weight loss.
You were going to start running.
Okay.
Yeah. So how many times have you gone is the question. Do you want to just give an answer? Or do you want because she supplied us with 3 choices.
Are you going to do okay? What are the choices?
Okay. A, I'm licking my score sheet. I'm not really sure what that means. B, over 10, and it's only January 9th, or more than once.
Definitely more than once. Not for running, but I started my weight loss journey with walking in 2020.
Good on you. Yeah, and I know that you're like a track girl. Like you've been going around the track.
Yeah. I walk the track. It's been really hard the last 6 months of this year because I've had like a injury, my left ankle, but should be back on the track next week. But yeah, so I'm not a runner, but I'm a walker.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good on you. That'll get you there.
Yeah. So there's no involved in me with this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Moving right along, number 3. This one gets a little wordy, but we're going to get through it.
Okay.
Vowed to quit some bad habit, cold turkey. Have you slipped up? Which statement applies? A, I stopped my bad habit at the stroke of midnight and haven't looked back. B, there was some turkey. It was cold, and there's nothing like a turkey sandwich with Havarti, tomato, lettuce, and mayo, and dill mustard on a croissant. I love this woman. Or C, I revisited my bad habit because my bad habits happen to be using chocolate syrup as ink. My kid's teacher hates when I sign permission slips and forget writing checks. Thanks a lot, Quizmaster. So
she has a thing about chocolate syrup, doesn't she?
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it. Also, that she's a rambler, and
there must be a lot of chocolate syrup in her world.
There must be. So
wow, that is such.
Have you slipped up or not? I think that's the essence of it.
Okay. I can honestly say without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not perfect, but I do not slip up on food.
Okay.
And I haven't for a long time because I think one of the things we do is we say this is forbidden and this is not. And while we know that sugar is not the best for you, you know what? I'm never not going to have chocolate. I have lost weight, 150 pounds by having chocolate. I would say one of the bad habits that I don't know if it's a bad habit, but I just want to be more intentional about everything. So anything that's kind of namby-pamby in my life, I'm really letting go of.
I like that. That's a deep answer for a stupid quiz. I love that. You're taking it to new heights. So I'm going to give you at least one more, maybe 1 or 2 more questions because this is a great segue. So where was it? Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, you vowed to take your business to new heights this year. This means A, finding investors, B, seeing your new product on store shelves by the end of summer or just in time for Christmas, C, using an airplane lavatory at least once. So that must speak to the...
Oh my gosh, I will not drink anything to avoid C. So we're going to put that aside. You know what? I think it's 2, but my business is not on a shelf. It's online.
Exactly. And we're so ready. We're just about to jump in. So I'll give you one more because this was really silly and it's just fun. Okay. Your resolution was not to make a resolution. Have you kept it? A, no, I felt oddly compelled to make an empty vow to an echoing chamber anyway, and I'm not sure why. Can someone tell me why? B, yes, I am a success. The status quo will reign in 2026. Or C, wait, if I made a resolution to not make a resolution, then I actually did make a resolution, which means I failed at not making a resolution. So everyone I know who proudly proclaim resolutions are foolish and pointless actually made a resolution by broadcasting their intention to not make a resolution. Resolving, do not resolve, is still resolving. Whoa. So there you have it.
I don't make resolutions.
Okay, so I guess the answer is C.
And here's the thing. I also don't, I will have a word of the year, but no one will know it.
Okay,
Like I kind of feel like my word of the year is, I feel like the word of the year is between Jesus and me. You know, so you will not see me posting on social media. This is my word of the year. I don't
hashtag Jeannie's word of the year. So
yeah. I don't judge those that do.
Right. Okay.
More power to them. It's great. It's a very good teaching tool online. But I just have always like held my cards kind of close to the vest on that one. But I don't make resolutions because you know, that's why the gym is full in January and then calms down by February.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I like the way you think. And I agree with you. You know, I think there's some things that come out, not so much with us broadcasting them, but just in, if God's given us a word or we've put something, you know, there's something in us that we really want to accomplish. The evidence of that will be in the actions, right? Not in the proclamation necessarily, which again, not to put anybody down because sometimes we have to say it out loud. But yeah. So your answer was C.
You know what? You be you, but I do believe in a long obedience in the same direction, which I think that was
I like that.
Eugene Peterson. I think. Or Frederick Buechner, but a long obedience in the same direction. That is what has gotten my weight off. Has just been I've never not been conscious, and I mean it's not unpleasant, but it's like I've always been conscious of it, and I haven't gotten off that since 2020. Yeah.
I like it. And it's about consistency. It's not about perfection, right? Because once we're not perfect anymore, then what, right? Oh, I guess I have to stop. No. So I like that. Well,
it's also about discipline. That D word that we don't really want to talk about, but it's about doing those things. And that includes so many different things. It even included this course that I'm talking about. You know, it was like the discipline of when God wants you to do something and it's like, okay, you know what? You have to do it. It's like writing a book. Anybody that's written a book knows that you can't edit what you don't write.
Oh yeah, now you're starting to hurt, but we'll talk about that on another podcast. So, but I think this is the perfect time to move on. So before you do so, we're just gonna score your answers here. So this is Hi Mama's scoring gradient. So if you answered mostly A's, B's, or C's, you just took an internet quiz created by someone wholly without credentials to create personal insight quizzes. So there you go. Take from that what you will. So you did excellent. The final assessment, great job. Loved your answers. The plaque, the fruit basket is coming.
Too funny.
So, all right. So now, as promised, I do want to talk about this exciting new offering that you have. And I don't mean to tease it out, but I'm gonna a little bit because it's a course, so I'll say that much. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about part of your story, just in the name of your media outlet, Tall Oak Media. What is that all about?
I love that. Okay, so if you go to my website, you will see a picture of a oak tree in front of my home place here in Welch, where I'm from, and which is a town of about 600. And so the home place has been sold, and it's been beautifully redone. And so that's when we did that picture. And then my friend Stephen, who is a designer in Minnesota, actually kind of fancied that picture up. He's a wonderful graphic designer. But the story of that is that my dad was a school teacher. That was what he did, and he taught biology and science and spelling and also driver's ed, and loved nature. And he brought. Pardon?
Did he teach you to drive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Brought that little oak tree home in his hand. It was a little tiny oak tree that he brought home in his hand. And it is now It's been planted, obviously, for years and years and years. It stands beautifully in front of the house, and it has stood the test of time. But how I tie it into Tall Oak Media is I want to help authors and writers grow. And I want them to have strong roots. I want them to have a base. I want them to be able to take momentum from each thing that they do, which is like the rings of a tree that just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so that is how I came up with Tall Oak Media. Plus, I'm Native American. So I'm in the Peoria tribe of Oklahoma, and it kind of has Native American roots. And if you look up the meaning of an oak tree, I mean, you could go forever and ever and beyond talking about the power of an oak. So Tall Oak Media, when I had to change my name, Tall Oak Media was just a pretty obvious choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love all of the word picture of that because it's so perfect for who you are and what you're doing and what your heart is. Because, just a few moments ago in our stupid game quiz, you were talking about, just having discipline and that long game, that long process, that Buechner quote, towards, so it's not about perfection, but it's about discipline, and it's about taking steps in faith. And when we do that, we need a lot of encouragement along the way.
Yeah.
This is where Jeannie comes in, right? Because you are, as we introduced you, you're an encourager. And you created a course that is all about encouragement, but not just encouragement for the sake of encouragement towards a specific goal. So tell us about that specific goal and tell us a little bit about this course.
Yeah. I'm going to tell a little backstory to hang you on just a little bit longer.
Good.
And I think it was in 2023. I was at the American Christian Fiction Writers Conference, and I spoke on publicity, and I had like over 100 people in the class. And it was really an interesting story because, you write that stuff in advance. And so, I was just in the middle of writing it. I got it written, I went to Tennessee. I had everything ready to go. And much like God will often do, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I felt like the Lord was saying, I don't want you to talk about that. I want you to talk about this. Mm-hmm. So I think my workshop was starting at noon, 12:30 or something like that. So at 5 a.m., the morning of, Jesus was like, I want you to talk about this. And that is when PI came into the picture. That is the acronym I use. And so we can talk a little bit more about that, but it stands for publicity, innovative, and energy. So it's just like, those are three really important things in the area of publicity. And so, so I decided I just, honestly, Nancy, I have worked with, hundreds of authors, probably hundreds upon hundreds of authors through the years since I started Tall Oak. And I just know that for many of those authors, they were obviously I was hired, and I was hired through a publisher to work on their books, but that doesn't always happen for authors. And there are many authors that never have a publicist. Do you know what I mean? They don't have a publicist, or if they're, they may be working through a publisher, but still might not understand the process. Mm-hmm. And so I just always felt such compelled towards those people that are out there and they're working on a book and they've worked so hard on it and it's out there, whether it's traditionally published or whether it's, through Amazon services or whether it's hybrid or whether it's self or whatever. There's just a lot of people that don't have a publicist to work for them. And so that's why I came up with a course called Confessions of a Publicist, a panic-free guide to promoting your book. And it's 4 courses that are on YouTube in video. And it is hosted by the amazing Becky Kopetsky. And then I have a guidebook that will take them through. And so I just felt like there needed to be something in their hands. I have been doing this a really long time, and I love authors so much. And there's no time to help them all. Do you know? It's just like there's so many, there's no time to help them all. Some people, maybe they don't have a big budget of their own, because with a lot of authors, they pay for PR out of the pocket, whether they're paying for, you know, whether they're paying for PR or whether they're, whatever they're paying for. We can talk about that in a minute, kind of the marketing aspect of that. But I just wanted there to be something out there where they could go, okay, you know what? I'm going to look at the pie of my book. I'm going to look at the publicity. I'm going to know what that means, because there's a lot of people that don't even really quite know what that means. I'm going to look at the innovation of it and what that means to be so innovative in the times we're in. And then the energy, which I feel like is one of the most important capacities that we can have, is energy for the book, because nobody is going to be for your book like you are. Mm-hmm. And that is where that energy comes through. And so much of the course and so much of what I've done over this amount of time is encourage them to tell their story, that their story is important, just like your own fingerprint. Your story is important. And so that's what came out, was Confessions of a Publicist, because that's really kind of what it is. And it is been, I feel like it's been a long time coming, but I had a little detour with life, and but God has just brought me to this point right now. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the healing in my life, and the momentum and the moving forward. And that is why I feel like that this has just been the perfect year to release it. It's all ready to go. Mm-hmm. It's sitting there waiting to be picked up. And so I'm excited, and I'm excited about people knowing, like I said, there's a lot of people who don't really have a full understanding of publicity. Publicity usually falls under a marketing pie. And so it's kind of own entity. So, if people are thinking, well, I need to buy ads, or, I need to, even do certain parts of social media, that doesn't always fall under publicity. Publicity basically is anything that's not paid for. And so a lot of people just they don't like, I remember asking in that course, okay, who knows what publicity is? Very few hands. Who doesn't really totally understand this process? Lots of hands. Okay. So I think that knowledge is power, and I want people to understand what it means, and what I hope this course is a catalyst for even them digging deeper and getting further information. I've given them a really great base with this, but you always have to keep learning in publicity, because things change. Algorithms change. Algorithms change, and so I just wanted to give them just such an amazing place where they could go, okay, you know what? I get this, and I know why. And I know why my pie is important.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you just said what I think is the key word. I was going to say magic word, but it's not magic, but it is key. Why, right? To understand your why is so crucial in everything that we do, let alone writing a book or having a message that you felt strong enough to write it. So somewhere deep down, there is a belief that if I feel this strongly, maybe other people need to read what I have to offer. Yeah. So that why. So connecting people to their why through that pie acronym that you have, which I love that, by the way. Have some pie. And I think of you're just who you are in life. You bridge so beautifully the encouraging and the practical, right? Because I think I said a few moments ago, you are an encourager. This course isn't just saying, hey, you're great, oh, you could do it. It's practical. You have practical steps. You're breaking it down. You're getting, to the why, but also, okay, what do you do next? And what even is publicity, right? Like, so distilling your 25 years, right, of experience and making it doable. for those that are either just coming up, or maybe they've been around and they just don't have that 25 years of experience. So coming alongside as a mentor to someone and making it doable, making it practical, making it accessible. Yeah.
And also, a lot of times what people do is they're like, okay, I've written the book and now I have to promote it.
Yeah.
It's just like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. I'm raising my hand because, that's scary. It's a scary prospect for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons.
Yes.
Right?
Can I just write the book and have it set there? It's like, well, you can write the book and have it just set there, but nothing's going to happen with that book unless you move it out and you're the best spokesperson for it. Whether you are, let's say you're with a publishing house and they did hire a publicist for you, you still need to have an understanding. Mm-hmm. You still need to be able to ask some questions. You still need to be able to know your own why in all of it. It's like, why does this matter? Why does this make a difference? What can I do? What can I do? I mean, honestly, there's so many ways now that publicity is so much more accessible than it was. I mean, it's like I've heard tons of stories of people that were wanting an endorsement. And so they send a DM to somebody. And believe it or not, a lot of times they will get an endorsement from that. I mean, it's not a perfect science, though, Nancy. None of this is a perfect science. That's why I love PR so much. It's so much about the heart and the hard work. And one thing I want to encourage them in as far as the why is why would you take this time from your family, from your life to write a book? Because let's be honest, writing a book is solitary. It's a solitary thing. And as I said before, you can't edit what you don't write. Mm-hmm. And so because it's solitary, it's like, no. You have to look at the sacrifice from your family, from your life, those nighttime when you're up till 1 a.m. writing, or those early mornings, and you have to go, you know what? God gave me this message and it matters, and it matters to get it out there. And so the why of why you do that, if you don't get the why, nobody else will.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And that's so important. And it's so important. It almost seems like, well, of course that's true. But sometimes with things like that are so like in our face, we don't realize how true it is, right? We take it for granted. So right. I appreciate so much that that's a big emphasis with you.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I did the guidebook too, because there's a PDF guidebook that you'll get along with the 4 courses. The 4 courses are they just are an introduction, and then it's going to go through the first P, which is publicity, or the only P, pie, right? And then innovation, which basically talks about how that you are your own innovator in this, and how you do this, and how you work things out, and how you write your press release, and how you decide you're going to pitch it out. That is your own innovation. And then the last part is the energy, because we know that, as Ecclesiastes said, there's nothing new under the sun, but individually, God has given us this energy and this passion for the message that he's given us. Like, I have such passion for this because I want to help people, and I want to help them understand, and I want them to take that pie and go, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can really do this. And I'm going to have to learn, and there's things I'm going to have to do. And I'm going to have to, count on my fellow authors, like, authors and writers and different people like that, to see what they've done, and to see what publicists have done. But I need to figure this out, because it's really important that you do. If you have a book, it's really important that you know where publicity falls in line with everything else.
Yeah. And kind of wading and weaving through all that, it can be very intimidating, and it can also be, I think, to an extent, confusing, or there's tension there. Maybe I'll put it that way, because, like, as you said, being innovative and then bringing your own energy into a project, whether it's the book itself or the distribution of the book, is like, all right, so on the one hand, there is a way that it's done, right? And so you have to pay attention to people that have gone through this, authors and other people that have done it. So you can't dismiss that. And at the same time, you have to find your own voice in your own way and bring that innovation. And so I think that can be the intimidating part. It's like, okay, well, how far off the rails can I go? Or how, do I want to just be a carbon copy and do something that I know works just for the sake that it works? And well, that proved to be, a lucrative thing. So I'm just going to, cut and paste that. Or, how much of myself do I bring into this? And I think it's a big topic, I think.
Yeah, it is a big topic. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of hard work. This is hard work. Do you know what I mean? You worked hard to write the book and you're going to work hard to do this. But one of the things that I talk about is that, people write the book and they think, okay, I've written the book, but now I have to spend all this time doing publicity. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm totally overwhelmed,
right.
Or I'm an introvert or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But
the part was over. Yeah.
Right. But the thing about it is there are ways, and I talk about it in the course, there are ways where you can compartmentalize that and say, you know what, Thursday afternoon, that's going to be my time to work on my publicity. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to set aside time and that's going to be my publicity time, whether that's updating my website or working with a press release or pitching things out or doing some research, and it may have to be 2 days a week. It's like initially, or it may have to be more. But I found that when people compartmentalize that time, and I really learned that from Liz Curtis Higgs. I did PR for Liz Curtis Higgs for her fiction, several of her fiction titles. And, at the start of the campaign, Liz would send me at that point, it was just a photocopy in a PDF of her calendar. And she would have different letters on there. O, F, W. W was for the writing days. Mm-hmm. O was for the office days. F was for the family days. And I knew from that when I could work with her, when I could book interviews. You know what I mean? I knew these were the days that she was working on her own publicity and her own marketing. I knew from that calendar.
Well, you know what I like? What I really like about that approach is you're setting your own boundaries, right? Because this is like a whole other topic, but it's important within this is if we wait for other people to set those boundaries, right, we're not going to have them, right? So to have that clarity, like this is, to make it manageable, to say, no, these are the days, these are the times I'm going to do this, and then to stick to that, right? Because that's where life comes in and say, well, no, this and that. And so I really like that approach because then it puts that, it puts the control on you, and control is probably not the best word, but, ultimately all of our ways and all of our days are in God's hands, and he can disrupt our schedule anytime he likes, but it's still good to have a plan, right? Because otherwise we're just
well, and I think make it enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're gonna get in your office or your space, and you're gonna do a cup of coffee, and you're gonna, do you know what I mean? And you're gonna just do those things. And I've seen, so many people come, through the ranks, like, Rachel Houck and Denise Hunter and a lot of people like that have evolved. It's like they've evolved with very long careers in writing. And part of that reason has been because they have managed publicity. They have done interviews. Do you know what I mean? They've done articles, they've done columns, they've done PR. And so it's like, I feel like that, if we want, to build on the momentum year after year, which is one thing I encourage with authors is this may be your first book, but it's going to give you the foundation for your publicity from now on. You're going to build and build and build on it. Yeah. And, and so that is what I want to encourage them to do is look at it instead of looking at as something like, oh my gosh, I don't know what publicity is. I don't understand it. I don't really enjoy it. Maybe flipping that narrative, as we say in Oklahoma, flipping that narrative and going, you know what? This is a privilege that I get And so part of this course, Confessions of a Publicist, is just hopefully being part of that world and helping them and giving them motivation and giving them, the PI acronym and helping them understand things just a little bit better. And also learning to not be afraid of this. Don't be afraid of it. Don't dread it, but just go, this is just part of the process that I have. Yep. And this is what I need to do, because if I want somebody, in Illinois or in the other part of the world to hear about my book, then the word needs to go out. It's right. No, you know what I mean? When the scripture talks about, we're a city on a hill, that's all this is. It's putting your message out there as you being that city on a hill and sharing that light and life.
Yeah. So there's so much of what you just said. So, I want to go back to something you said during our stupid game, that Buechner quote, and you'll have to remind me, but the essence of that long walk in the same direction.
Yeah, right? A long obedience in the same direction, and I really think it might be you, Jeane Peterson.
Okay, so
I really think it might be, but it really is. Yeah, it's a long obedience in the same direction. And that's why, honestly, when God gave me the acronym of PI, I was like, well, PI, that seems like, but who doesn't like pie, Nancy?
I like pie. Yeah.
A lot of people like pie. Who doesn't like pie?
Great selling. And so, hey, pie, I'm in. I'm in. You had me at pie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is. It's a long obedience. What I do is, it's like my average media campaign can go anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So that's a long obedience in the same direction towards that author and towards that book. Right. And like with you, that's what I always tell debut authors. I said, there's a window. There's seemingly a window, but you have to understand that really it's important that you promote your first book for an entire year, anywhere you can.
Right.
You'll have me for a certain amount of time if I've been hired by a publisher to represent you, and then you'll just have to move on from there and do your own things.
Right. And that's what this course is you're giving people tools to do that, right? And
tools, and also hopefully an understanding of, okay, this is where I fit best. These are the places I fit. This is the media that I fit best. Like with your podcast, I know who I feel like is going to fit best in your podcast. And that's part of what a publicist does. But if you're doing it on your own, you have to have that understanding yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
And you have to be able to write the pitch that catches their eye, that makes them say, yeah, I want to have that person on. I want to talk to that person, because what they're talking about, what they've written about, is relevant and important and encouraging and hopeful.
Right.
It's a whole lot of hope. To be honest with you, Nancy, I think that so much of my career and why I wanted to do this is I have a sticker over my desk that says Hope Dealer. And it's like,
love that.
I want to give them hope that
is addictive, right?
Because they can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hope that they can do an interview.
Of hope, right? Because we need it. We need it. Yeah.
You know what? If God has given you a message, then let's talk about it.
Yeah. And you talked a few moments ago about, don't be afraid. And what it made me think of is that definition of courage. I'm sure you've heard it, right? What is courage? It's not being afraid, but it's being afraid and doing it anyway, right? It's stepping out even in the face of fear. It's just showing up, right? And it's that long obedience in the same direction. It's not about perfection, right? So, even in our stupid game, right? So it kind of showed up even in that, even in the things that we say we want to do to make different this year, or try something new, or stop something that's not producing life, or so so much of what you're talking about, these are transcendent principles. you talked about how the publishing world changes and things. Yeah, algorithms change, media changes, tech changes all the time. But these principles that you're sharing are so transcendent, right? So I would say, like, this is for you authors out there, this course, but this also might be helpful for people that are just looking for some sound, practical wisdom to apply to whatever your project is. And maybe there's something besides a book that you want the world to know about. I think this could be helpful for them as well.
Yeah, and that's why I call it a panic-free guide.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like
right.
a panic-free guide. And, I do, I mean, it took me a long time to get here. It's like, I've been, as we've talked about in the last, in the podcast that I've done with you, there's been a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And to even finish this has been like, I crossed a major finish line that Jesus really wanted me to cross.
Yeah. Well done, my friend. Yeah.
Because I did include a guide. I wanted them to have a guide, and I wanted them to have also the video, and I wanted them to have a kind of a clear understanding of what's going on in their world. I'm not saying that they won't have questions. You're always going to have questions. I hope you do. And I do consulting. So if people want to take it a step farther, we'll make that available to them if they want to take it a step farther. I worked with, I work with potential authors a lot, and people that want to publish, they will get with me and say, what do I need to do? And I did that over Christmas with somebody, and one of the things they needed to do was finish the book. So I was like, you're going to have to finish the book. So they have finished the book, and they'll be looking forward to different things in 2026. So yeah, while it is about publicity, I find myself talking to any number of people. It's like, I'm single, I have weekends, I have nights. I spend a lot of that time trying to pour into people and help them.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not only a course, but as you just said, Jeannie is also a coach. So you may be looking at a project that you're working on, or just, whether it's a book or just some other thing that you feel that has been put inside of you and is burning inside of you and wants to get out. So that's, I'm going to highly recommend that, because I've known Jeannie in all of these capacities, right? That she's got practical knowledge. She's got, not just platitudes, but no, it's about, this is not just what you do, but you need to find your why. We've talked about that. And that's really important, that there's tools, but then there's a self-reflection piece. And as you said, we have to do the work for our own whatever it is, right? Because you can supply the questions, you can supply the tools, but at the end of the day, it's those of us that have something on our heart to share with the world.
And I've been in publishing a good long time. I started in 1989. I've seen it evolve over and over and over, and I do seem to be really good at helping people figure things out.
Yeah, and that's a great gift. And
one
that's I think it's only going to grow in need as the days get more interesting, right? To put it mildly.
That's really the truth. But the thing about it is that's why more than ever we need light.
That's right. And what you're doing, you're a lighter to help light other lights, because that's the whole point. If I have a book, if I have something that I want to share, I want to be an encourager too. So you're an encourager to the encouragers, really,
that's what I want to be. It's like I one of the things I do once a month is I go to the John 3:16 mission in Tulsa, and I have a class with men and women both. They're separate classes called Your Story Matters. And so I talk a lot about how that, because a lot of them, they want to tell their story. and we want them to tell their story. The testimonies are inspiring, and it is about lives changed, that Jesus has changed. But it's, even when I'm talking with them, it's just like I have the whole, I still have the whole kind of pie thing going on in my mind, especially the innovation and the energy part of it.
Another book in the works, right? A compilation of some of those stories. Wouldn't that be an amazing book?
That is actually my hope and my dream. Actually, I want that to happen so much. But it's just like when I'm in the middle of that and I'm talking about that, it's kind of amazing how God lines your vision up in so many places. And that's why I'm excited about the course, because this course is, there's a warmth to it because it's kind of how I live my life. It's like, this is going to be a course where I feel like people walk out of it and say, you know what? I feel like I feel encouraged, but I also feel like I can get my publicity ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. And I know what I need to do. Yeah. And I know the plan I need to make. And I may have questions, and I may have to do some research, but I know what I need to do.
Right. And just to give that point of orientation, right? Because it can be so disorienting. So to give that starting point, to give that, okay, this is you're start here, right? Just take a step.
But when you're a mom, and when you're, when you're saying to a child, look at me, mm-hmm. look at me, look at me. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so the course isn't the look at me. It's a vehicle that Jesus is going to use. Mm-hmm. Jesus is really saying, okay, just look at me. Uh-huh. Look at me. Yep. If you trust me, I'm going to bring you the people that need to work with you, and I'm going to bring you the tools. Whether that's me or someone else, right? And so it's just like, let's just focus our eyes on Jesus and the fact that what you've written is a miraculous thing, and it can always be edited. It may not be perfect, but there will be somebody out there who needs it and who needs your story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, you got your first student right here. So I'm really looking forward to this course, and let's tell people how they can find this course.
Yeah. You can go to my website, which is mytalloak.com. And it has any number of things on there, but there's a place that lists the course. You'll see Confessions of a Publicist, and you just click there, and then we'll get you the videos. They'll come off of they're actually sitting in YouTube, and then also a PDF of the guide, and then I'll do a follow-up email with you, so I can answer any questions or anything like that. So it's just like, it's pretty easy peasy. Honestly, Nancy, it's pretty easy peasy getting the course. Yeah.
Accessible is what we like to call it, which is exactly what we need, right?
Yeah.
So you've made it very accessible, very easy to find. And again, not that you came by this knowledge easily, because 25 years of experience, you've distilled it in such a way that it is accessible and user-friendly, and even the most scaredy cat can jump in.
Yeah, and I've been doing this so long that I actually have forgotten people that I worked on their books. And I was going through something the other day, and I was like, I worked on a book with Sadie Robertson. Sadie Robertson?
Oh, my, yeah.
Yeah, Karen Kingsbury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's been on the podcast, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Jenkins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's kind of been, it's been so there. I mean, there's name after name after name of people that I have worked with.
A long list of people.
And
blessed, and that are blessing other people. So you're a key part of that blessing chain, the web.
I hope so. It's been a privilege, and so many books over so much time. And like right now I'm working on a couple of children's books, and it's just like, I love that. I love that because, I don't know about you, but I love a good children's book, even at my age. And to be able to help those authors get their message out to those parents and grandparents and teachers and things like that. I love that. But I work on fiction, I work on nonfiction, and I work on children's. I kind of work on all of it.
You do it all. Right. And you do it all so well. And I love the guests that you've brought to the Isle of Misfits. And I hope to get some more of them, to have some more great conversations, because the bottom line is, we as hope addicts, which is all of us, we all need hope. We all need to be encouraged, but we all also have a need to encourage, right? So if we get encouragement, we must pass it on. And that's really what we're talking about. And you're just here helping us with that. Well, how do we do that? So thank you.
Yeah, and Confessions of a Publicist really came out of the fact that with everything that I've been through in the last several years, I did not lose my joy. And so that part of that confession is just, do you know what I mean? I want them to be hopeful and joyful as they do this. And it's not that everything has to be slap happy, but there's a deep down abiding joy. And there's a deep down abiding knowledge that, you know what, God has equipped us. God has equipped us. But that is why I say confessions, because it does. It feels like a confession. It feels like that I'm talking about a legacy that has gone on for a really long time. And I want people to know. And that's why the acronym PIE was so, seems really easy, but at the same time, it's
pie.
It's powerful to me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's powerful. And I felt like, you know what? I understand it. I understand that. I understand that acronym. I understand the publicity, the innovation, and the energy. Right. And I felt like that I wanted to bring that to other people too. So I'm excited. I mean, I got to admit, just like anybody that's got a first-time project, I'm nervous. But it's an excited nervous because I feel like this will help people. And I think you're right, not just with their writing, but maybe their life too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure, because there is joy in the journey. And I love that you know your why. And I love that you're helping people know their why. So Jeannie, you know, we're going to have you back. So next time we have you, we'll talk about maybe more about how the course is going and maybe some of the lives that it's changing would be awesome. And I'm, I'll be waiting for some more of your great authors to have some more great conversations with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thanks for just the time today and just for caring for the misfits in all of us.
Well, yeah, from one misfit to all the rest, right? we gotta stick together. So love you, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. God bless.
Hey, thanks for showing up and hanging out with us today. Or maybe you just kind of washed up with the tide, whatever got you here. I'm just glad you're here because you are the reason that I show up. And if today's episode encouraged you, well, maybe it'll encourage someone else out there in Misfit Land. So would you pass it on? And also, I would love if you would subscribe wherever you're listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever, and even give us a shout out with some of those stars. You know what I'm talking about. And you can find more Misfit fun for everyone at isleofmisfits.com. You can even email me if you just want to say, hey, you got a question? Nancy at isleofmisfits.com. That's ISLE of misfits.com. And most of all, let's keep our quirky community going by owning our awkward, loving our fellow misfits, and seeking beauty and truth everywhere.